Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL 1 Katowice offline qualifiers here in Poland. And we are down to just 2 matches left. It is the deciders. I'm joined by Alex Machine Richardson, and of course I am Lee D-Man Smith. This is my final game. It's quite sad, actually, of the event. This really has been a great offline qualifier. I'm so happy that ESL chose to do it this way instead of online best of 3s or whatever else you could normally build up to a major. But of course, the next match is going to be KaBuM. They are facing off against Team Dignitas, who we have just seen the last 3 games running. So they've into their 3rd matchup, and we're going straight into the veto. We'll see how this one works out. Of course, KaBuM earlier on, we saw them get knocked down after losing out in what was a much closer game than we were expecting, honestly. But they did, of course, lose out to Mouse Sports. Mouse Sports? I don't know where I pulled that one from. It was... I can't even see the result now. I can't even remember who they played.
It was Mouse Sports. It was 16-10 Mouse Sports. Yeah. It was top of the bracket. Anyway, we have...
It was 16-10 Mouse Sports. It was Mouse Sports.
God, you doubt me, Lee.
Doubt myself.
Anyway, we've missed a couple of vetoes, so the remaining maps are Inferno and Nuke.
So these 2 teams, actually, just like the previous ones, were talking amongst themselves, or more to the point, have had the same people talking amongst themselves, and they kind of decided they could have the same map pool. So they were just like, well, the vetoes are going to be pretty straightforward. So I wonder if that's why we've ended up on Inferno again. I'm interested to see how KaBuM are on Inferno. Obviously, Dignitas, well, we just saw them. Apparently have a great T-side. Or certainly Vox after... Or you could switch it around, say have disastrous CT side, which is unusual for a team that Fetish is running, because obviously Dignitas, the old version that now moved on to TSM, they were renowned for having amazing CT sides. They were the defensive team. Now Fetish still running the strategies. You'd assume he's using pretty much the same strategies that Dignitas were playing before. So the question is, can they just play them positions, or was it simply Vox Eminor being amazing on the T side?
That was the
Obviously, they got the pistol.
Raise.
They went 6 rounds without breaking a sweat, honestly. That's why, of course, they're in flip-flops and shorts.
They were basically going on holiday. Vox, I mean, as soon as they arrived...
Well, they've definitely gone on holiday now, that's for sure, because they've already gone to the bar. That's no surprises. But KaBuM, though, on the other hand, I want to quickly have a quick look at the matches they've had. While we're doing that, I want to check out the brackets, of course, what we've had throughout the tournament so far. We've had 6 teams now have qualified, and of course, today it was Cloud9. They managed to get themselves through pretty cleanly. 16-2, taking down InShock, dominant victory there. But the Mouse game, that was much closer. It went 16-14, and they managed to get themselves through. Now Vox Eminor, of course, as we just seen a moment ago, did take down 3D Max, beat Dignitas out 16-13 eventually, despite having a 12-3 T-side on Inferno. And of course, they are now through on the major, and that's why we're in this situation. You can see Dignitas KaBuM. Next match will be Mouse 3D Max as well. 3D Max beating ESC comprehensively 16-8.
It feels weird when you look at Dignitas, KaBuM, Mouse, 3D Max, and you realize 2 of those teams, they have to go. They are not going to be going to Katowice, and that just feels odd. But that also says just how powerful this offline qualifier has been. You know, without this, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to see these teams get these surprise results and have these close games. And it's really good to have that option. Of course, Vox, you know, I saw a tweet saying, you know, this offline qualifier has given them a chance to really earn their spot in Katowice, and I think that's a really good way of summarizing Vox Eminor and how they're feeling off the back of that one. And now, of course, we maybe need to start turning our attention to the map. We did see the veto. We are going into Inferno again, and we don't know too much about KaBuM. We know that they've been working on their strategies on these other maps. Yeah,
they've actually spent a week or 2 weeks, actually, technically. Obviously, they had that week at MLG and ClutchCon where they did play Inferno 3 times overall. They got beaten comprehensively 16-3 by NIP, but NIP, one of the great teams on that map, arguably Fnatic being the best. But they also took a good, strong victory over Denial, 16-9, and 16-13 was a defeat to Denial. So back and forward results. That was against Denial, which worries me, because ordinarily you would look at these maps and think, okay, they need to be stronger than the American teams. Team Dignitas literally just played this map. It's all in their heads. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing, because they lost on it. But they're... You know, there's no better way. It's like ordinarily the warm-up, they'd be jumping in a I don't know, a death match or something like that, hopping around, popping heads, trying to do what they can to warm up as much as they can. But they've literally just played on this map. They've played all the roles. They're going to do exactly the same thing. Conversely, KaBuM had just had the opportunity to watch them playing on this map and and maybe figure out any strategies, figure out any ways around what's going on there. You can see them all having a good discussion. We saw Peter earlier on, obviously stood behind them. He wasn't coaching them.
No, he was moral support.
He was the cheerleader, I think, is the that's the way to put it.
He just left his skirt at
Give him a couple of pom-poms and away he goes, but he was supporting them. But yeah, talking about obviously KaBuM's trip in America, they did, of course, play through those 2 lands that were in Denver, the region. And of course, then they spent another week in America, effectively boot camping with just about anyone they could get hold of. There is Peter, sure enough, stood behind them, keeping their spirits up. See? Players are very much
hype.
Funny for him. I'm not sure that was quite a hyped.
Yeah, all right.
Hyped
Off you go.
handshake.
See you later, guys.
Yeah, it's like, all right, play. To be fair, I went and I did it with him, and he was talking about. It's like, yeah, I didn't really understand what they were saying mid-game, but you know, it was great. I was cheering them on. It was like, yeah, come on, guys, woo! But hey, it works. Whatever, you know, whatever keeps you going, whenever it pumps you up. Team Dignitas, honestly, it's interesting. I mean, we've got 2 different pressures here. Team Dignitas just been picked up by that organization, just switched across from Copenhagen Walls. Fetches, of course, been there all the time. KaBuM, though, crowd-funded to get here. Is that even going to put pressure on them? I don't know.
That's what I was going to ask. Like,
feel that the pressure, you know, the people, we had just heard Vox talking about it, Sponge talking about it, you know, how it's great that the crowd are behind him and he's really, you know, it's worth, that's the reason they play, to get the fans, that enjoy the fans, the game. Obviously they enjoy the game itself, and probably the money that comes with it may be helping, but overall, you know, it's a bit of pressure, I think, going crowd-funded coming into here, and honestly, if they do qualify, they're probably going to need a little bit more crowd assistance.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether that's going to be helping KaBuM or playing on their minds. You know, everyone wants us to do well. I don't know if that's a motivator or if that's that can put too much pressure on you. I'm intrigued to know how that kind of makes them feel. Maybe we can ask Peter, as he's now their cheerleader, how that makes him feel.
I'll tell you what's a motivator for Dignitas, though, is Pimp. Pimp has been playing very well for his team. Started out, Fetish actually had a pretty poor game on Mirage overall, but stepped it up on Inferno. One of the few members on the CT side that actually had a good half, but when they switched over to the T side, Pimp was rocking Vox Eminor just about every single time, making it towards that B site. And that's something that KaBuM can certainly take away from this one. It was the B site focus for both teams. Vox successfully got into that B site almost every round. And then you saw Dignitas doing the same thing, so maybe they're going to, who knows, triple stack it, play a bit more aggressive, play it more different positions, just trying something different that clearly Vox weren't thinking about.
Yeah, and the thing is that KaBuM, you said already that they just watched that game against Dignitas. But other than knowing what Dignitas do, they also knew what Vox were doing that led to that 12-3 half. Now, I don't know whether it's a bit too early or too late to be able to make changes like that, but if you could go, so Vox did this and they picked up 12-3, even just a slight change perhaps to how you would have approached this game could really start bringing in rounds for KaBuM.
Well, it was Sponge going through apartments when he wanted to, and it was B plants, honestly. They did get a couple of A plants in there, but the majority definitely went towards the B site. The grill, I did just have a little fun with them, talking about shrimps on the barbie, and Toby ate one out there, and I was also watching, and I was like, oh my God. It's like, good A, cobber.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've had our fair share of Aussie puns.
Aussie's English, you know. It's the old banter. They're just a colony after all.
I managed to get... I managed to get a cricket one in there earlier as well.
You got a cricket one?
Oh, yeah, he caught a nade right in his face. It was good, yeah. Anyway,
they normally kick our asses at cricket anyway. Anyway, moving on. It is Team Dignitas versus KaBuM. It is Danes versus Brazil. No football scores coming out from this one because, well, Denmark didn't actually qualify for the World Cup, so that's not going to happen for them. KaBuM, though, in the face-off. Oh, we're going to get the plow in there. Everybody. I was going to say everybody wants the CT side, but after the last match, I'm just not concerned. I'm not sure anymore. Suddenly we're seeing strong T sides on Inferno. Yeah, well, we're seeing the Australians have strong T sides on Inferno. Whether or not that was just Dignitas having an off day remains to be seen. As already the cuts are going to come in. And, I mean, Dignitas, if they were to take this one, well, maybe I should stop speculating, as already it looks like KaBuM are doing a pretty good job. Just Nico remains, and he's getting hunted now by
the Brazilian side. Surely he's going to be going down and gives kind of KaBuM a bit of an advantage. They get to choose their side. They've seen Dignitas, both Dignitas' sides on this very map, and we'll see what they choose to play. See what side they choose to opt for, whether they want to take that CT side and just run with it, or whether they want to try and start as strongly as Vox did with that T side.
Ordinarily, I'd say CT, but after the last match, I'm just a little unsure. But I'm pretty sure they're going to just stick with the CT side. We're going to get the pistol getting underway. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is a decider. Loser out of the tournament, winner will go through. Will it be KaBuM from Brazil, or will it be Team Dignitas from Denmark? I'll give you a quick last roster rundown for them. For KaBuM, it is going to be Bolts, ZQK, Fur, Steel, and Fallen. And for Team Dignitas, it is Pimp, Fetish, Nico, AZ, and Kiebu.
And here we go. We're into round number 1 on the T side. They're doing something pretty special already. Dignitas just opted to stack up with that bomb site towards Apps, and I'm intrigued to see what the CTs have in response to that. Immediately, ZQK realizes what might be happening and backs away. He's not going to risk going down so early into this one. So much time, and he's just going to try and hold it, but the wave is about to crash.
It's not a rotate, though. They haven't fallen for this one. KaBuM holding steady. Now they're going to rotate. It's going to be a little late because you can already see it's going to be Dignitas just piling on towards that site. They're surely going to get the plant in, but Fur is trying his best to hold them down. Has to go for the reload. That's going to give time for AZ to get the shot in. Fallen peeking out. That grenade will find its target. Not going to do enough. Bomb plant going down. And now it's on to Dignitas. 2 on 3. Surely can close this one out. Pick up that first important T side. Pimp in the pit. Everybody else covering around quad. One guy about to run around apartments as well. Fallen's going to push on in there. Pimp gets the tags down on him, but not the frag. And Steel will close that one out with the head. Nico holding steady. They know they've got to go for the defuse. His timer is running low. There's a defuse kit on Steel. You see, instead, Dignitas do push around. And round number 1 on the board for Dignitas this time as the T side.
Starting strong from Dignitas. I mean, KaBuM, they were a little late to rotate. And when they got there, they were picking up the frags. And we can see already that KaBuM looking to start with that scout. Something we're seeing so very often. Now, this time in the hands of Steel. And the standard by bar perhaps Fetish going to be coming into this round. Let's see what Steel's going to do with this one. Maybe perhaps trying to open up the fray, but doesn't look like anything's going to be given to him by Dignitas.
Yeah, sometimes the scout, it's a risk, that's for sure. Steel, it's interesting to see Steel, the man that's running it actually, because when you think about the snipers that we had previously, one ZQK and Fallen that were running those orbs, but it's Steel that's chosen and eaten a grenade over on the B site. You can see, of course, there is an AK in the hands of AZ and double Galil as well for Pimp and Kiebu. Mac 10 will do a good amount of damage, only 2 members of KaBuM with the armor. They have managed to defend fairly deep on this one, honestly. They could get smoked out there. This, I think it's just the scope's just holding on spool by the looks of it. Meanwhile, on A side, look at this, a double stack. They're double stacked on towards quad. We saw how well that worked actually. The previous matchup for AZR, just changing those positions, but Dignitas, they're moving on towards B side and A side at the same time. Oh, they've already been caught out in mid. They're rotating to B.
And it's going to fall onto Fallen. That's very convenient. And now Fetish and Nico are on the prowl. Fallen has tacked up so heavily. Who is that? It's Nico. He's going to get away with his life for now. And all of a sudden, 18 seconds, the T side are going to be trying to get that bomb down, and successfully, as finally ZQK and Bolts get there to try and bolt this one back together. You can see 3v3, and AZ is just holding ready for that push from CT. It's going to be ZQK to walk into his crosshair. Surely it's going to be a kill. It is, but Bolts in the meantime has equalized. And they are pushing on towards this site again. Oh my god, KaBuM, what just happened? They pick it up, and that's going to be a fantastic round in response from KaBuM.
He has got time on the defuse. I was just trying to get a hair on it, but yeah, wow. Wow.
I don't believe it. Oh.
Mind-blowing. Again, we've seen this so often actually, this entire weekend. So many times, second round, shouldn't be picking it up, yet they come in and rush them down, and teams have just not been holding, even though they've got their rifles in hand, not keeping them away, not finding the shots, not finding the angles. Smoke's been used very well, and KaBuM now with their first round on the board for the CT side. Maybe we're just going to see this game play into normal time, but Galil in the hand. Steel with the FAMAS as well. Dignitas already on site. Are they going to go for a fast plant here while this is all happening? Now they know that Steel's in the back corner. This should be a clean round, and KaBuM will just mow them down on site.
I learned that Americans call dark emo.
I know they do.
I love that.
I was going through the whole different set of names that the Americans use. Yeah, emo in the corner because it's a dark place. Yeah,
I love that. Anyway, you just see this just KaBuM just picking them apart. Beautiful execution from the two members there. Fallen and Steel picking up 3 and 2 respectively. So going into this, KaBuM just off the back of that fantastic pistol round, they're going to be doing fantastic stuff all up in the hands of ZQK. This is more expected. We'll see what Fetish
I forget what they call quad as well. They have a name for that. It's completely different to what we'd use, but. Yeah, this is the round. Dignitas have to hope. No, Porch is on banana.
Is it? Yeah. Oh, too many American calls. Anyway, getting into this game, you see the mollies getting thrown out the T side. They really want to force onto this B. Dignitas trying to do something different as they did in the first time we saw them on this map. And here comes a real brute force attempt. Fallen's picked up one. They're looking for more. Trying to flash his way out. He's realized that he's in trouble. Just throwing fire onto his own feet, hoping to catch that easy. He didn't. I mean, they have lost their numbers. They've lost a great deal of health as well as the spray isn't quite going to connect from Fallen. And all of a sudden, 4v3 and a heavily tagged up Dignitas. They need to defend this retake.
Bomb plant down. They've got time ticking away. They have to make their move, and they're going to get Fetish down. Nico is going to be forced to back away from Banana, but he's got a good position to cover off this cross if he peeks just at the right time. They smoke him out. They're going to keep him away. That's going to force him to back away, but they're not looking at his position. Bolt pushes on through. ZQK is there. And just like that, Dignitas are cleaned out. Defuse is going to come in time. I wasn't sure whether they were going to start it off, but Defuse kit is already in hands of KaBuM, and that's now 3-1 for KaBuM. This is what we'd expect. This is the normal Inferno we'd expect. They have been getting the bomb plant in every time, though, Dignitas, so that's a good sign for them already on T-side.
Yeah, they've kind of making steps in the right direction for them. You can see on the frags there, great play from Fallen 6-1, as well as AZ on the other side of things. We haven't seen KaBuM get off the starting line just yet. I had to really think about that name.
KaBuM, mate.
KaBuM. Oh, you ruined it. we were talking just about how many people have butchered that name, and I'm now one of them. There we go. That's the man himself going down. Another one. There's KaBuM. Surely just gonna be rattling in the frags. 2 remain. It's Fetish and Pimp. We'll see how long they can last. Obviously, no armor. Pimp has managed to take an AK, Fetish and M4, and only 3 CTs remain. There's something in this.
Cheeky from Fetish, stayed in the mid, just tucked himself away, managed to pop out and get that kill in there. That's going to buy time for them. Fetish is trying to delay. He knew he got caught out and was pinned off. He needed Fetish's support, but it was not going to come. Instead, he smoked off. He's going to have to back around towards T-spawn and try and see if he can wrap towards this. ZQK only on 12. Holding on towards that orb. Meanwhile, Bolts and Fur, with those rifles in hand, should be able to chase him down, but they have to play this right. If Fetish were to just get his timing right, he could get so lucky and sneak behind one of these.
He could very well do that. He's got 30 seconds to just keep himself hidden. If he chooses to, he is going to be heading towards Fur, and I don't know if Fur's going to check this one. Surely he does, and takes Fetish down and out, snatching that weapon away from him. He's not having that one either. And KaBuM extend to 4. But that's going to be a buy now from Dignitas, and it's going to be intriguing to see what they choose to. They've really favoured the B site. You said we didn't see too many A rounds before. Could this be one?
Well, they're certainly going to need something. KaBuM did a great job of getting it, making himself a nuisance over at the A site. He managed to get around there every single time, but we are seeing a stack of incendiaries. ZQK taking a peek. This is something we saw aggression coming out Cloud9 when they played on Inferno earlier on, and that worked out very, very well for them. But no tags landing through that smoke, so no successful hits. ZQK does take a couple of shots. That's AK's rattling up the banana as he tries to hold position at car. Got boosted up as well, but are we going to see AZ peek around? ZQK is sticking around. He's staying persistent on this B push, and he's going to land it. That's persistence paying off, and Fetish will go down.
Great play from ZQK, and that's going to be just whittling away at that T side, as is the time, of course. And it is of the essence, and Fur is in a great position, has been given that boost and hoping to catch out Pimp. I think he certainly will do, as long as that flash doesn't catch him. It doesn't, and soon here comes the T side. They should be falling, they don't. Bolt in the meantime has burnt the toes of KaBuM. It is going to be the last one. I really didn't want to butcher that again. Oh, okay, 5-1. As I'm just going to have to call him KaBuM. KaBuM. I'm going to write that down right now. KaBuM. Damn my English language.
Kea?
Kyer.
Kyer.
K-Y-E-R.
I'm probably saying it wrong now. Probably got Danes just like flooding into our Twitter or Twitch chat,
Anders?
just like ah. But nonetheless, KaBuM 5-1 up now. And Steel managing to pick up the nade there. I think it was ZQK with the shot actually while flashed up and the nade followed through. They're 3-man stack in this B site. This is what we were talking about, how the B push has been working well for Dignitas, and maybe they've been watching the previous matchup. And they've learned and adapted. KaBuM, this is something that he did well against Vox in the previous matchup, managing to get in there, making his footsteps known as well, notice. So trying to draw KaBuM's attention to him. It has forced one man to rotate around. It is going to be ZQK who's back in CT Arch, while the rest of the team try and draw themselves back towards that B site. Going through tunnels, Pimp will creep in there. Bomb still in Banana. This has very much been the focus of Dignitas' attention for the last few rounds.
Yeah, and they're going to try and do it again. Here come the smokes, here come the nades. Fallen just be forced away from Spalls thanks to the smoke from the Dignitas side. And the Steel, not so much though. He's been using this position so much and so well. Not going to quite get the second. It was actually Nico who, actually no, sorry. It was KaBuM. And we do see Equalize again. Suddenly Fallen springs to life and it's all on Nico. He goes down as well. Big cheer from the Brazilian side as they pick that one up with very little cost. Just losing just one man after Steel doing so much damage from that corner. I'm surprised we're not seeing kind of more of an assertiveness when they know Steel does the same thing on that site. Regardless though, 6-1, KaBuM holding steady on the CT side.
Yeah, and we're starting to see a bit of a vocal KaBuM this time around. Smokes thrown straight up mid there from Dignitas. I wonder if we're going to see a speedy run. Are they going to pile up second mid straight through that mid? Smoke down. Hasn't quite got himself into a good position. They're going to get spotted as they come around now. I'm pretty sure Ferg managed to spot them. Tries to rattle the shots through. ZQK also just tucked himself around. That will be 2 picked up for him already. And the rest of the team will adapt to this one. The pistol run, not going to work out for them.
Yeah, they're just trying to find anything they can. Or maybe take ZQK out of the equation, but I don't think they're going to give them that one. Looks like it's going to be a tough, tight spot for Fer, actually, as he does go down. Nico, the man behind the frag, and Fetish was his teammate who, pretty short-lived, did get taken down. Nico following suit, all onto AZ now, and he's surely going to meet a similar phase, getting hunted down by Fallen, but he takes him with him. Nice play with the P250. They've done a relatively good job in taking 2 CTs away with this. They didn't invest anything into this round. We're going to see another one taken down. And so KaBuM, they're celebrating everything they can. They need to keep this this kind of happiness. We were talking to Peter and he was saying, yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're saying, but they just needed someone to tell them, you're doing well. Like, they were very negative, very down on themselves, and they just needed that motivation to get back into it.
I think they just loaded so much pressure on themselves coming into this tournament. The whole build up to it, that a lot of pressure on them from the crowdfunding. But 7-1 up, this is a very good start for them here on the CT side. This is what they wanted. It's going to be the confidence. And well, we saw Team Dignitas, the CT side. It was far from convincing. 12-3 was the half score for them against Vox Eminor just 30 minutes ago. And that will be playing in the back of their minds, thinking if they don't start picking up rounds soon, they are going to have to struggle. But let's not rule Dignitas' defense out. It ordinarily is very strong.
Ordinarily is definitely the key word after the previous game. And
it's an A play.
It's going to be an A play. You can see the time is plenty to play with. And here comes the T side first to draw blood. Steel doing the same thing. And look at the bodies just hitting the floor. Dignitas, they've got no room to maneuver. Another round now on the board for KaBuM. And all it does is cost them 1 man again.
Disturbed isn't playing in this game, mate. 8-1. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. It just went straight over your head.
No, it hasn't. I don't think that was disturbed.
Yes, it was.
Okay. There's some fans in the chat that will confirm or deny that.
Trust me, it was. 8-1. Anyway, ZQK got his hands on that AWP. Has been prevalent, bouncing between A and B site. And now again, we're going to see KaBuM 8-1 up in this one. Drowning pool.
Yeah,
damn it.
Got it right. I knew it.
Damn it.
Drowning pool. Woo! I'm pretty sure that was like, there was a year where that was all you heard in frag movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're into this game. We should probably continue to highlight how T-Side are looking to structure their offense, and it looks to be pretty standard. This is kind of what we've been seeing a whole lot from Dignitas, is really cautious, trying to find a pick on B, and actually Steel doing something different, as is Fallen. They kind of position themselves willing to do something through the smoke instead of being so passive, instead throwing out the fire. But Dignitas, they're preparing for this execute, and I don't know if KaBuM are going to rotate quick enough.
Well, they've got perfect place. That's going to be one. Steel gets a second as well. Forced down in the flames though, and AZ will manage to get that one, but Fallen rattling the shot through the smoke. You're going to get the support as well. Oh, face to face. Kissing cheek to cheek there. Fur comes out on top. Don't mess with a Brazilian when you're dancing through the smoke. And 9-1 now the score for KaBuM. It always looks funny because we can see it, yet obviously they can't. You know, I mean, it's obviously the bonus, but I think they both realize they're looking at the mini-map and thinking, why am I not moving? There shouldn't be any object here. Wait a minute. Back away and fire.
Yeah, just kissing him through the smoke. Kiss of death. Managing to secure another round. 9-1. And now, ZQK, what have you got for us? Absolutely nothing. We need to see what Fur's going to do. He should completely decimate this Dignitas side if they're not careful. Switches to the pistol. He's got two. Not going to get the third as Dignitas respond with 2 in force. And all of a sudden, Dignitas side, they have weapons. They're trying to get that bomb to the side. The spray from Fallen doesn't quite connect enough. The bomb should be going down from Dignitas. It does, thanks to the fast fingers of Nico as the fire comes in, as he wants his teammates to back him up. And look at that. Bolts has been held back, and Fetish is in a good position, but he must know it. The nade. Oh, that's Fetish now down and out. And 2 Dignitas members make it just 1. Nico, he got the bomb down. Can he possibly keep this site safe?
He's going to creep on through the smoke. Oh, he got Dink just in the smoke there. It's unlucky for him. Doesn't get the kill. And that is going to be 10-1 now to KaBuM. Suddenly, these rounds have been racking up really quickly. And Dignitas are running out of time. They've only got 3 more to get. There's the grenade finding its target. Bang, straight on there. 4 rounds to go. Tell a lie, it's 3 rounds to go.
Maths.
Okay, it is 4 rounds. I was right. Why am I second guessing myself
it's
all day?
right,
I've been doing it all day long. It's the voice. I'm gonna go with that one.
And so kicking this one off, you are going to be seeing the AWP in the hands of Nico. And Nico, he hasn't done amazing stuff, as I can't open the scoreboard.
It's the control key, mate. It's broken on that one.
Not working.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Okay.
Anyway, nonetheless, let's stick to our spec mode, because ZQK does land the shot. That's going to open things up. Team Dignitas already 1 member down. Nico, he's been looking, and KaBuM, he's been so successful on this last time around, but he's just wondering, why is it not working for him? And that's because KaBuM, they're playing far deeper defense. Bolts and Fur completely ready for this one. KaBuM's going to walk straight into him, but Fur's attention's been drawn. He's going for the rotate over. Checking out the CT side instead. And this timing will be vital for Dignitas. It's going to be another B strat.
Yeah, well, you can see the bomb is loose at spawn. Yeah, it's not quite. As you can see, Pimpin.
Boost.
KaBuM just holding steady. Wow, ZQK puts one into the head of KaBuM. And now Dignitas side, the numbers are fleeting, as is their aim. Bolts gets away with full HP, doesn't do the same to Easy. He gets a double, gets a triple. Dignitas crumble, and 11 rounds now on the board for KaBuM. And I can't see an answer at the moment. Dignitas, their T side it's not looking anywhere similar to that game against Fox.
Yeah, there's been some interesting discussions about that truck on Inferno over the weekend. Many players, everybody has their own opinion as well of how it could work, how it may be changed. Obviously, we saw the fan-made map the other day, but right now, it worked so well for KaBuM. 11-1 up. Could it be 12 as Fur once again gets those shots through the smoke, working wonders. Nico down. And now Dignitas just with the AKs. They seem lacking. They seem unable to adjust their approach. It seems the same every single round. And while they did start getting the bomb plants in early on in this match, they've not got close to that bomb site in the last, 6 rounds running?
Yeah, it's just becoming a bit overwhelming now for the T side. Smoke company coming out. This is indicative of that A push, but there's 3 CTs lying in wait, ready. Dignitas to try and make a move. Try being the operative word. It hasn't worked out so well for them in the past. And now KaBuM bottomed the score, but he's only picked up 1 frag so far in this half, and he's looking to show us why he has 1400 on that stat track AK. Not going to find it just yet. You can see ZQK is not going to give this one up easily. Takes down Pimp. Not going to get a second though as KaBuM shows us how it's done. Bolts just doing it again. This is his spot. Not quite going to get the triple he did before. It's actually another one from KaBuM, doubling his score already.
Bomb plant down. Fallen in Moto. Go tries to get a peek across. Does get a couple of shots on towards KaBuM, but he needs the support. Steel is running back in there. He's going to come around and sort from quad side. And now they have the crossfire, but KaBuM's got this angle covered. He's going to be walking straight into them crosshairs. Now they know where the last man is. He's stuck in the smoke. And this is going to be a very tough as for KaBuM. And a very important round, more importantly for Dignitas. That timer ticking down. I think, if anything, all he's going to do is keep them there, but they're going to try and make their escape. Fallen, not got time to get in there, no time at all. Will survive, of course, kit in hand, but Dignitas finally get themselves and break that deadlock. It was the first pistol round they picked up. And now, after 12 rounds back-to-back, 11 rounds, sorry, back-to-back for KaBuM, the 12th was picked up by Team Dignitas.
Yeah, and KaBuM quadrupling his score in just one round, as we are going to be seeing 11-2 on the scoreboard. And you already said it, such a key round for Dignitas. They need to start picking them up and picking them up fast. We're all, of course, in the 14th round.
Something I had noticed is Pim's score. You know, he was by far the top fragger last time around. He's only got 2 on the board right now. That may be why Dignitas are struggling, because Pim's not carrying them to victory effectively. Instead, you can see him right now trying to find anything in those apartments. KaBuM has been creeping through them, tiptoeing across the wooden floors, but ZQK holding the angle this time. Just going to back up, see whether anything can come from this one. But you just feel that the B side is starting to feel a little bit more confident. They keep getting the peaks. Unsure whether they should rotate right now. KaBuM then holding this angle. ZQK, he's going to get someone in his crosshairs. That is KaBuM going down. And now Dignitas, well, they're going to have to make a decision. It seems it's going to be the B side.
Yeah, Flash is raining in. They want to try and obscure the vision of Steel. He's been doing such a great job of keeping this site safe. You can see Fallen actually falling back. You can see Pimp is probably going to meet his demise if he's not careful. He does such precision.
Do they think it was the fake? They must have. They rotated away from this one. They just left Steel on his own. Steel, though, against Fetish, not going to land the shot. Nico's grenade will come in. And suddenly, KaBuM completely out of position.
See, it's all onto Nico's shoulders now. It's not going to happen. Such spray control. Bomb goes down. And that's just a slight little bump in the road for KaBuM.
What a retake.
Fantastic retake.
Yeah, that was very impressive from KaBuM there. Dignitas just whittled away on the side. And now at 12-2. This is what we were expecting. This is your, I wouldn't say your ordinary score, actually. Dignitas, you'd assume, would get a couple more rounds on the board. They absolutely need to win this one, but you can already see just a P250, a Deagle Tech 9, a 2 AKs. This is going to be a struggle for Team Dignitas.
And KaBuM don't know what to spend their money on. ZQK is fully bought. He's got 10k in the bank. He doesn't know what to do. As he's going to show us why he's getting that money. Great play onto Pimp. Fire hitting the floor as well. They're trying to slow down this assault, and it works perfectly. Oh, and Dignitas again decimated. Wow. Steel picking up a fantastic 3. ZQK with 2. And that 2-man aggressive defense brings that 13th round home. And I mean, I don't want to say it, Lee. 3 rounds away, and KaBuM are going to Katowice Major.
13-2 is a monstrous CT side for KaBuM. That really just did not work for Dignitas this time around. Girlfriend's in the house as well, showing them on camera. Dignitas, they do have support here, but I'm not too sure whether it's going to be enough, because they have, and they know it, a mammoth task on their hands. 12-3 was the target they needed to make last time they switched to T side after their disastrous CT, and you just got to wonder, KaBuM are going to be so confident in this pistol now. Even if they don't make the pistol, they got so much wiggle room throughout the rest of the map. They can afford to just, just play it a little fast and loose.
Yeah, this all comes down to Dignitas right now in this pistol round. They need to secure it, and KaBuM, they're trying to push through that smoke. You've seen it work, well, not work actually, countless times, but they're going to get through safely. KaBuM. Damn that name. It's going to try and hold it. He does. He's telling me off with frag, gets Steel, and backs away to keep him and his teammates safe. But look at that Fetish HP, 1 HP. He's as good as gone. And now we'll see. 5v4, numbers flaming CTs, but only slightly. That millimeter health on Fetish could cost him, as here comes the retake.
Plant already down. AZ trying to come around, does manage to find Fur. There's one more in Grill. They weren't expecting ZQK there. They do manage to get him down, but look at that. Dignitas with the retake, get themselves the defuse in time. I'm just checking they do get that defuse in time, but that will be 13-3. But Dignitas have to keep doing that round after round after round. It was 11 rounds consecutively picked up for KaBuM on the CT side. It's not beyond the realms of possibility, and the pistol is a good start.
It's a great start. It's exactly what Dignitas needed. If that hadn't gone their way, I would be really worried to see what they had for us. But no, instead, can see KaBuM. The Brazilians so close, yet so far into securing their spot at the major. See, they are trying to surprise them. Full armor by Tech9 as well. They want to try and put Dignitas on the back foot, but Dignitas not going to budge just yet. Bolts holding steady in mid. You can see KaBuM there are still hanging around steps. They don't really want to push too far. In about Nam, you can see rattling off just 2 bullets. He just wants to make his presence known and then backing away to safety. And now the question remains, which site are they going to hit? They surely are aware now the Tech9s are there.
Well, it's a 4-man stack at A for Dignitas. They're expecting the A site to be pushed because they've managed to sweep them out of that B site in the last 2 times. But you can see the bomb making its way through there. KaBuM, 5-man in it.
5 Molotovs. There's so much fire potentially about to rain down on this site, and I think it's about to come. KaBuM doesn't know what's about to hit him, as the T-side are about to make this site look a whole lot hellish.
That's a hell of an investment.
It's a huge investment, but they want to surprise Dignitas, and I don't know whether or not...
Oh, he's just gone into the corner.
This is it.
He's just gone into new box. Bolts is not going to land it with that one, but that one has just gone overhead. I'm pretty sure it's headed in there. Look at the mollies, the rain of fire come on down as the Tech9s move on in. KaBuM, not sure, hot foot steps around the side. Instead, the grenades will find them. Now they've got the bomb in. Steel holding around trucks, just backing away through construction. That was a very, very well executed push from KaBuM. And Team Dignitas just simply going for the save.
In the wise words of Tiger, molly, 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 molly. They pick it up, fantastic play. It's Pimp and AZ who are going to be holding steady on those weapons to pick that one up. And now you can see a fantastic performance with those Tech9s. It was a huge investment, a huge risk perhaps, but KaBuM, they can afford to take the risk after such a good first half from them. And that's going to be another round on the board for KaBuM.
They're actually going to get 3 as well. 3 exit, make that 4. Not quite, not quite, not quite. Pim goes down, loses that weapon. And well, 14-3. KaBuM just 2 rounds away from making the Brazilian dream of reaching their first major. They got themselves their performances, and let's not forget, once they reach that major, you know, you can forget this best of 1 that's been going on. Obviously, everybody's focusing and taking away that Mirage. They may be able to get a chance to play it. They are fearsome on it, but they need to start getting those other maps in there. Pool, has Inferno been one of them? Have they been working hard on this, or just Team Dignitas simply shriveling under the pressure? That Swag 7 trying to find the target, but Ferd does spin around. Amazed he didn't actually land the headshot straight away there. He had the time, he was turned sideways, and that just shows the pressure that's maybe on them, the fact that they are starting to snatch at those shots.
Yeah, and I mean, this is it for Dignitas. They're just trying to find something, anything to take away from this round already. Bolts forcing that smoke out. Oh, that's so many bullets. I think that's Fetish brought down to just 7 HP. And they have 46 seconds, and you can see already the T side, while this distraction goes on, they're building towards that A push.
Smoke clears, in go KaBuM. They do take a grenade straight away from Quad though. So it was a good catch already. Steel waiting and trying to push out there. Molly will go into the corner. Didn't really push him out of pit though. Is it going to be a distraction? They smoke off CT Arch as they work their way around towards A site. It's absolutely going to be their focus unless they do some random strat going through library. They're already onto site. It is AZ still in the pit though, keeping them busy. Instead, they're going to get a push around back at library as well. KaBuM suddenly have just dropped. They're also low on hit points. It's a 2-on-3.
Now, KaBuM, they've got 1 to find. It's going to be KaBuM. He's got body armor and the pistol. Does actually find 1. Suddenly, this is looking slightly possible as he picks up the kill. Not going to happen. Fallen picks it up, and KaBuM advance another step closer to the major.
Match point for KaBuM. And it is such an uphill task for Team Dignitas now. They're on the CT side. This is against the rules. They shouldn't be losing this many rounds. And KaBuM, you know, after losing the pistol, and god damn, I'm repeating myself so many times. We see that second round after the pistol loss. We see the other team getting the overturn. And now, again, 2 more rounds back to back. They only need 1 more. That's all they got to get. And it is going to be, let's have a quick look. It's going to have to be a force from Dignitas, and it's going to be a force of what the hell we can get our hands on. They've only got 2K each player, and that's not going to buy you a great deal. On the CT side, KaBuM, there's 1 player dropped at the moment. That's why we've got a timeout here.
And you can see, look at Dignitas, no one is speaking. I'm not seeing a mouth moving. And compare that to KaBuM, they're having a chat, they're singing songs.
Smiles there, isn't there?
I mean, for Dignitas, they'd be shattered, their communication's falling apart. I wonder how long it took before their communication started falling, especially off the back of that loss against the Aussies. They very well may have lost that a little earlier than perhaps they should have.
And this, of course, means a lot in terms of not only pride at making it to a major, but in terms of money for organizations involved. That sticker money, it's a pretty big deal these days in Counter-Strike Go. While there is 4 majors a year, missing out on just one of those is a huge problem. KaBuM, safe to say, crowd favorites, and I think a lot of people back home cheering this team on. They've become like somewhat of the community sweethearts. I think it's safe to say the community darlings. People funding them to get here in Katowice, and you know, they've talked about maybe if they do make it, whether they're going to spend the month here in Poland. And honestly, if they could get a boot camp and train with all the European teams, that would do a world of good for them. And when there's teams, you know, players like Flusher giving them money, openly giving them money to be here, then, well, you've got yourself a great training partner in Fnatic, possibly. I don't know whether they're going to want to take them up on it, but there's certainly a lot of teams out there that would happily have some training matches against the Mirage Masters in KaBuM.
Yeah, I mean, you say Mirage Masters, maybe we have to start adding Inferno to that list if this game against Dignitas is any indication. But then again, perhaps we have to do the same for Vox if we were doing that. I mean, Dignitas, they chose to play this one. They left this in the veto, and I don't know if that's more of a statement about either their confidence on Inferno or their lack of confidence on these other maps. As off the back of a loss on a map, wasn't such a significant loss, especially on their CT side. I mean, yeah, that's a statement. That's a statement in itself about either their confidence on just saying that was an anomaly, that's not going to happen again, or something quite different. 15-3 is the reminder for if you guys have just joined us. You can see on the sides, as we cut to Dignitas, you can guess which side has the 3.
Well, and you just got to think, you know, KaBuM obviously 1 round away. Who are they going to join? Well, Cloud9, Vox, Eminor already there. CLG, LGB Esports, Flipside, Titan. Let's not forget the 8 legends that were already invited directly. The top 8 finishers from DreamHack at the last major. Final match of the day, of course, will be Mousesports versus 3D Max. In itself, a monstrous match, but right now, the faces of Dignitas say it all. Despair. Yeah. Basically, not only having computer problems, but being 15-3 down.
And at such a unfortunate time to lose a computer for both KaBuM and for Dignitas, but it does just, it slows them down. I'd want to kind of like, you know, tab out, get onto some DM or something, just keep that flow, keep that flow that they were currently rocking. And in the meantime, Dignitas, they are just going to have to sit. But bearing in mind, it's not like they've done this for a team talk, because I think they've probably exchanged 3 words, which is computer broke, probably, something along those lines. But yeah, taking their time with this one to try and get ready for the next game. And KaBuM, I've said it once, we'll say it again. They have the full buy.
Scratching of heads for Fetish, as well they should. You know, they need to figure out a way out of this situation. They need to go 12 rounds back to back to try and tie this one up. That is, it's possible for CT side, but not sure it's going to happen. Gotta be honest. Okay, they're going to have 2 minutes to fix this computer issue apparently. Look, we'll see how quick that 2 minutes is. That's what we're being told. So 2 minutes often turns into 10 minutes in my standard estimation. But let's talk about the tournament in a whole, because obviously while this is happening, while Dignitas are in disarray, we can almost say KaBuM are going to make it through, barring miracles. Let's talk about the teams that are already there, though. Teams that have qualified through this event. Cloud9, of course, 2-0'd this morning. They went through, taking down InShock and Mouse Sports. Fox Eminent also 2-0, in which surprised a lot of people. 3D Max and Team Dignitas both taken down. Very solid performances. That was today, of course. Yesterday, if you missed it, you missed some crackers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
The first game of the day, well, we thought we'd pick the Butte. We did. CLG taking down Gamers 2-16-14, but we were not expecting Titan to be taken into quadruple overtime. 28-24 was the score there. But then, obviously, it's hit Titan being rattled so heavily by Peter, falling to CLG. CLG coming through 16-14. First American side to get through and represent North America. But Titan did manage to get themselves back in there. They took down the Copenhagen Wolves in a solid performance, 16-4. Very one-sided, no doubt about that. LGB also, they managed to get themselves a 2-0, taking down the Copenhagen Wolves 16-8. And flip side, 16-11. Well, of course, LGB managed to get through. Flip side were the final team in there, and they were the team that lost to LGB, but they overcame Peter in considerable fashion, 16-3 overall. So we are, I would say, getting the teams a lot of people expected to get through, but the route that they've taken is certainly not what a lot of people expected for this tournament.
I mean, definitely. I mean, Peter, just a reminder, if you guys didn't catch the games yesterday, for some reason you weren't able to, go back and watch those VODs.
And watch Waylander just kicking ass. So
if that's
simple.
a name that you're like, hang on, I've seen that on subreddit, I've seen that on HLTV, yeah, there's a reason. Do be sure to go check those VODs.
Okay, so you can see clearly there are a couple of problems on the stage right now. We're just waiting for a PC issue to be sorted out. The look of despair from Alex kind of says it all, honestly. But we are going to go to a quick break. We're going to be back in just a few moments for the conclusion of this game. It's 15-3 to KaBuM on Inferno. They are just one round away from qualifying. We'll be back in a few moments, guys.